Today I'm going to be covering great gift ideas for artists that are under $25. All of these items I have listed in an Amazon gift idea list that I have linked down below, so you don't have to keep any notes. You can just pull up that list and look at it. Prices are going to vary a little bit because sometimes there are deals and sometimes you might be able to find a similar brand for cheaper. The first gift suggestion I'm going to make is a table easel. I discussed this in my video about what new artists should buy, that the table easel is great because it's very versatile, and typically newer painters want to sit down when they paint. They don't want to stand at a French easel, which is freestanding. This one's great because it has a drawer underneath for storage. It even has a wooden pallet. Also, it's got a handle for carrying it. This guy's going to fold up and not take up a whole lot of space. Even if an artist has an easel, different types of easels or multiple easels tend to be welcome. This type of easel is going to accommodate most of the painting that an artist will do, so it's a great fit and it's great for space. The next gift idea I have for an artist is a toolbox. It's great for storing paints in the bottom bin and then paintbrushes in the top. They're usually around 20 to 40 bucks. And even if an artist already has a toolbox, they're usually going to start wanting to separate out their materials. If they want to paint with acrylics that day, they can grab the acrylic toolbox. If they want to paint with their oils that day, they'll grab their oil toolbox. So another toolbox is going to always be welcome. The next gift idea I want to suggest are these 4 books. One of them is a great guide for if you're teaching or still new, or if you just want to have that comprehensive go-to book. And it's How to Draw Cool Stuff. I've got another one called How to Draw Cool Stuff also in there. Those 2 books look very similar, but one is more of a guide for teaching and instructing and being a student, and the other one is focusing more on somebody who's already established and is wanting to learn how to do optical illusions and improve their shading. Another book that I suggest as a gift is one called Facial Expressions. I really like this book because it is basically an encyclopedia of how to get emotion across in the face. The illustrations in the book were a bit simple, but I liked that because the focus was all about the facial expression and why it is when somebody's crying really hard or very angry, that those 2 looks can be very similar. In the beginning, when artists are trying to draw people, sometimes the emotion of a person gets left behind because they're struggling so hard to make someone look technically accurate. They're so focused on making the lips look like lips that they're not really worried about making them smile or having their painting express some sort of emotion. With more expertise comes the desire to have the characters in your painting express a feeling. It can be difficult to find reference images for someone's facial expressions, so this book is really helpful because now you have essentially a dictionary of reference material to look at. The 4th book on this list that I recommend is called Dynamic Hands, and that is because hands are some of the most difficult parts of the body to draw. One of the telltale signs of a newer artist is that they're going to avoid drawing hands. You'll see their hands are behind their back, their arms are folded to try to make it simple, and that's because it is very difficult. This book, Dynamic Hands, is a great gift for artists because it helps break down the hands and make them easier to draw. And no matter how talented the artist, I've never heard one say that hands were just too easy to draw and they didn't need any help. The next gift idea on my list are Micron pens. I like Micron pens because they have archival ink. Here are some of the ones that I like to use. They fit well on my hand and the price point is great. Another fun gift idea for an artist is a pen and ink set. This is very traditional. This one comes with nibs in 4 different colors, and even if it's not something that they're very passionate about, it's something new that they could play with. Another gift idea I suggest is a pencil set. This one has more bells and whistles than the one I suggested in the beginner set. An artist is always going to need a pencil set, and like with pens in your house, you're going to lose a couple pencils here or there, or you're going to break some, or you're just going to use up the ones that you really, really like. One of the reasons why I suggest this pencil set is because it's got some bells and whistles for an artist who's been drawing for a while, but everything also comes in its own case. If the person you know is somebody who really likes to draw, one fun gift idea to give them is the electric eraser. This is very good if somebody is especially into photorealism or is doing a lot of drawing. It seems a little silly or a little bit weird, but in 5 seconds or less, it's a very helpful tool. And if they've never used one before, it can be very fun for them to try. My next 2 gift suggestions are going to seem very similar, but they serve different purposes. The first one is not to get the artist in your life a ruler, but an architect ruler. One of the reasons that I like this ruler is because it's very easy to grab a hold of and to press down on a piece of paper. But also, if you're using the grid method, because architects are having to scale their work, this will have different scales on it that can be used to help make sure that the grid on your image matches the grid on your paper or canvas. This is just a little bit easier, a little bit more friendly for this whole scaling process. The second one is a larger and more robust T-square. On my list idea for beginners, I suggested a more affordable T-square. On this list, I'm suggesting to get them a nicer, larger, more robust one. Its length is going to mean that they can use it for more canvas sizes. And now I want to move on from the rulers to my next gift idea suggestion, which are 4 suggestions, but all in the same category, which is sketchbooks. The sketchbooks that I recommend are a charcoal sketchbook, a newsprint sketchbook, regular sketchbooks, and then a mixed media sketchbook. Now, if you were only to buy one of these 4 suggestions, I would suggest the mixed media sketchbook because it's versatile, so whatever the artist is into, they'll surely be able to use it. Sketchbooks are always a great gift idea because artists are going through them all the time. Like with the books and the sketch pads, my next 5 suggestions belong in the same category, which are canvases. I made these canvas suggestions because they don't have side staples and because an artist is always going to need canvases. One of these sets is especially fun because all the canvases are primed black, and that can just be a novel, fun experience for an artist to do. Sometimes I'll do paintings where the canvas starts off entirely black, and it makes me think outside the box. Are brushes a good gift idea? Didn't I say in my other video that buying an artist brushes can be tricky because sometimes they're very particular about what sort of brushes they like? Well, this list is a list of brushes that I think are safe gift ideas because most artists are going to end up needing these types of brushes at some point. My first suggestion is for a set of large, wide brushes. And most artists are going to use these because they're going to end up painting something where they're going to cover a large area of the canvas, and these will help them do that more efficiently. My second suggestion is a small set of Winsor & Newton flathead brushes. Most artists will end up using flathead brushes, but Winsor & Newton is a good company, so these are some nice quality brushes to give as a gift that they'll probably end up using. My third suggestion for brushes is a set of foam brushes. Some of these are round daubers, some of these are wider and longer. These are great for painting, they're also great for varnishing, they are multi-use tools, and it's a great variety pack. My next suggestion isn't a pair of brushes, but it is used for painting, which is painter's tape. Painter's tape is useful for marking off a section of the canvas that you absolutely don't want paint to be on. This painter's tape set is great because it's got a variety of widths for the artist to choose from. Another gift idea suggestion I want to make is this drop cloth. I like this drop cloth because one side's cloth and one side's plastic, so if I'm sitting on it, it doesn't stick to my skin, but it still has that plastic coating that ensures nothing's going to get on my floor. The final 2 suggestions I have for gifts for an artist are going to seem like they're the same thing, but they're not. One is gesso and the other is white paint. Gesso is white paint that also has binder and chalk in it, and it's used to prime canvases. This is what an artist can use to prime their own canvases, or if they're unhappy with a previous work and they essentially want to erase it and reuse the canvas. For the white, I suggest a 4.6 fluid ounce tube of titanium white because most artists will use white frequently and it's one of those colors that runs out. I suggested a titanium white specifically because zinc white has some transparency to it that the titanium white does not, and most artists use titanium white. That wraps up my gift idea list for the artists that's $25 and under. I hope that this was helpful or inspirational. Please leave any comments or suggestions down below.